Okay, everybody, thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about orientation. So, from this slide, we can see making a difference. So, it's just not about the orientation, it's not about the paperwork. It's really about making a difference. Um, we know that we're still struggling uh, some places with getting employees, and we seem to be kind of moving them in and out. So, how do we get better at this? How do we get more comfortable with the process and really think about the things that are so important and that are going to help us to retain employees? Because that's the big thing, and to get the employees in. But the retention, if we could just get them long enough that we could start making a difference, that's going to make a huge step forward for our company. And this is a time when we are focused on training and we want to move forward. Our strategic plan has a huge focus to training, and those are going to be things that I'm going to be working on a lot. So, um, today on our agenda, we're going to be looking at PM Finder Mouse so we can look at it together. Um, what is the job orientation? So, what are some of the best practices for us? Um, Let's have work smarter, increasing communication. This should always be a goal. Our communication can never be strong enough. It's always forever changing. We're always dealing with different individuals and different things. So I think increasing the communication level is just a key component to this. And then our resources. What resources do we have available? And then how do we get these employees in? How do we keep them engaged and develop them? Um, what are things are important to them? And I think those are the things that we need to keep in our mind every time we're looking at applications, every time that we're contacting someone for an interview. And, what is it that we need? What is it they need? So we want to keep our crew strong, and we know that we need to hire people in, and we need to get some really good people and not just those bodies that we need to do business, but to get people that can really be a part of a crew and a part of a team and can really help us move forward. So, where do we stand? Well, let's talk about applicants. Delaney is very active and does a lot with the job boards, learning who is the most popular, how they work in the right way, and she is posting positions for you when you really need them. So we have applications coming in. We all know that September's a rough month for everyone. We know sales go down. We know we're looking for employees. It's just kind of a rough month overall. Everybody goes back to school and changes happen. It's like people are shifting their schedules and everything that they do. So in September, we showed 977, which is low. So August, we had 1,792 applications. That's amazing. And that's around where we are. So we should be having at least some choices. And that's what we need are the numbers. I know you're going to say, Pam, but the choices aren't good. And, we really try, but we're not finding who we need. So I know that there are challenges out there. I know that you're still up against ghosting, the no-shows. I mean, I hear it all the time. We call them in, and then they sound interested for the interview and they don't show up. So they're not really motivated when they get there, or they say that they want the job and they apply, but they just ghost you. Why are they applying? Did they really even want the job? So why is this happening? Um, are we doing our part? What's our mindset? And when you go through this a lot, I know that your mindset can change. You get a little frustrated, maybe more than a little, and then you kind of start reacting like I think that it becomes more your expectation. So I do want us to get refreshed in what we're talking about today and to kind of change that paradigm or mindset that we have. Hey, we don't know what's out there. It could be a diamond in the rough. So we really need to talk to everyone. Some candidates are just not a fit for hospitality. And you're going to probably find that out right away because when you talk to them, hopefully you do have the discussion. Through discussion, you're going to find out they may not be that person for hospitality. We always say we want to hire for some of the personality and we can train the task. Yeah, I know that that's a little bit more of a struggle these days. I think communication levels and ways that we communicate have changed. So we have to look and we have to be pretty creative. So, um, sorry, I had a chat and I got distracted. This is not good. So anyway, what we want to do is we want to ask those questions. We want to find out, learning about that person. What's important? What are their work ethics? What do they think is important? What are they looking for? Not just those questions of when you're available. Do you have a ride to work? Um, those are things we need to know and they're important, but also, um, we need to know something about the people and not just the basics of when they could show up because we know they may not, to be honest. So we want to know that some people that are coming in, they have applied to a job that they know nothing about or may not know anything about. If they don't have, we have a lot of young people that do apply, so they may have not had a job before, they may have not have worked in a restaurant. So it's important for you to kind of set that tone as well as to what the job is, and what are they looking for, what do they like to do, so that you know if they're a fit to our restaurants and hospitality. So what is the job orientation? Well, it's more than paperwork. I already said that. And it should be ongoing. This should be something that we do the first day, we do prior to them being hired, we do it on the day they're hired, and then we do it continuously through the training process. So it's really a welcome. It's very basic. We're in hospitality, so we have to set that example of what hospitality is and then start and follow through the training process in the orientation. So with the interview, we are interviewing the candidate, but honestly, they're interviewing us as well. So we need to be the example of what we're looking for. We need to ask the right questions, be engaging in conversation so that they get comfortable and that they show us some of their true personality. We need to be able to answer their questions and we need to actively listen. Sometimes it's really hard because we don't really have the time frame and sometimes we hurry and we rush. Sometimes we think that maybe we've already kind of made up our mind early on in the interview and we might be doing ourselves a disservice. So we want to actively listen, make eye contact, make them feel important because there was something there that caught your eye, something there that you think might be a possibility. So really truly investigate that to find out what that is. Orientation is also a time to just make the new hire feel comfortable. I said it's a welcome. Well, when you feel welcome, that means that you kind of have a comfort level, more relaxed, you're not nervous. They come into us at orientation not knowing anything. So of course, they are nervous. So make them feel that they made the right choice. Be welcoming, be open, talkative. That will help your process. What makes an orientation successful? Well, I put together some few things here for best practices. Um, there is so much information when a new hire comes in. Um, we need to let them know what that is. It's going to help them answer their questions and their comfort level. What is the expectation? Um, when they come in for their shift, what they need to know. When you use a checklist, it is always helpful because you're not going to miss the details. Things are important to them, not always the things we think, but they're the simple things. And those are sometimes the things that we can forget. So when you use the checklist, you know you're not forgetting the details. So think about when you start and you begin the orientation. Do they know anything about our company? Or did they just apply to a job? Do they even know what a restaurant does? Like everyone knows what a restaurant does, but do they know behind the scenes what that is? So do they know what Hosses is? Do they know what Marzoni's is? Do they know what we do? Do they know who our guests are and how we feel and how our crews have been with us for a long time, many of them? Those are the kind of things you want to talk about. Talk about the company history, the values, the culture of the company, the culture of your store. That gives them that homey feeling that this may be a place that they want to be. Um, so many of you have great stories. You're the best employees. Like we have the best management and the best crews out there. You guys work hard. You are so active with our guests and the communities that you have some great stories that you can share. Share them in orientation because that makes you real to new people coming in. Do it with your current employees too. It really gives them, it makes you feel down to earth and not just their supervisor. Um, how everyone is involved in the community is huge as well. I think we're getting back into that. I think that that's great. We have some holidays coming up, and that's where some of our crews really shine. And these are things for new employees to get excited about and to be a part of. And that helps them feel a part of the group. So this is good. We want to get their attention. We want to see that they're a fit. And we also want to make sure they feel like it's a fit for them, that it's a good place to be. And also, I always feel like when you reminisce about the stories and the good times, it really gives us a little motivation in ourselves as well. Every day is not easy. We deal with some hard challenges, but when you get back to the fun things and the good things about it, it just helps kind of re-energize yourself. So make sure that you're setting the clear expectations about the culture and the expectations. New hires are going to come to you with their ideas and understanding of what um, is appropriate work behavior, and it might not be what you feel. So it's also our opportunity to talk about what behaviors are that you expect and help to teach them and move them forward in professional behaviors. Show them how your crew gets along. We're a team, right? We all have to work together as a team. We need to have fun. We need to foster that collaborative environment. Who's good at what, and we all get together and make it happen. Um, the new hires are looking for a great atmosphere to grow in. So they're looking for opportunities to stay with you and grow with the company. And they want to know that they're just an important piece of what we do every day. They want to know how they make a difference, how their job makes a difference. So the whys are really important. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, more even through the training process of what we do, because that'll help them feel more engaged. I have a little statistic. It's from Forbes Advisor, but I kind of like them now and then because I think that they're really eye-opening and that they bring things together to light. So 91% of new employees are willing to quit within the first month and 93% during the probation period if the job does not match their expectations. Huge numbers that I don't care for. I think that they're huge. So how do we change them? And how do we do this? I think through some of the things that I'm trying to talk about now with best practices and kind of having a different mindset and paradigm shift of what we're faced with and what we need and how we lessen the gap. So, how can we be creative and make everything a positive experience? Um, you got to use your team, strengths of your team. Managers can't do everything by themselves, absolutely. So, when you look around and you know your team and you talk to them, you know what your team can do. So, I have another little statistic in there I'm sure you both have read, or you all have read. Um, this is not good either because we know every day is not great. And we need to talk with people so they don't walk out and look for another job. We need to let them understand and help them through it and how they cope with it and how they know that tomorrow is going to be a better day. I think I didn't use all my creativity in this slide. When you're using the team, I think that you need to look at the strengths, look at your people, and I'm sure in hospitality, you know that you have a party planner on your crew. If you have somebody that loves people and loves to like plan events and to do things, um, have them maybe be in charge of orientations. because they're the ones who really kind of like to get things organized, and they like to make sure that the details are being taken care of, and they want everyone to have a good time. So, um, it's a good way for you to kind of get that excitement going for an orientation. And if someone does it, if they can do it more often, they get better at it as they go. So, is there somebody who's been on your team for a while and they have great history, they have good stories to tell, and they make them, good storytellers? I'm not one, I can't tell a joke, and I don't think I'm a good storyteller, but someone on your team is going to be that. Several people on your team may be that. So, you can utilize them. Maybe have them show your new employees around so they can talk to them and they can, tell them about things that have happened in the location and things that they might have fun doing that the crew participates in. I know that one of the things on here I have listed is group orientation, and I know that that may not work for you, but it could be a good idea if you're able and you need a group of employees and you're able to get some new hires in. If you can bring them in at the same time, it's a good way to utilize your time. It's a good way to make sure everybody's getting a clear communication and expectation of all of the things that you need to talk about on your checklist for orientation. Um, Also can make those new hires feel more comfortable because any new employee, of course, has a little bit of a nervous, they don't know what to expect coming in. So having them in a group setting could ease the anxiety. They're going to make some new friends that are all in the same position at the same time, and they know who to lean on. They don't feel alone. So there are a lot of positive points about this, if it can be done at any time. And you don't have to do it every time, but maybe at some point it'll work. Use food, make it fun. Um, give them some food, let them go to the dessert bar and make an ice cream sundae and share it. They enjoy that. It relaxes them and they're having fun. That's where they want to be. So we want to do the important things, but there are things that we want to avoid because these are going to be the things that aren't going to make us look in the best light. Maybe we're not going to look like that employer of choice to the new employee. So one of that is to not rush. We want to take our time. We want to be organized and ready for them to get here. We want to have that checklist so that we don't forget all the details. So we know what we want to discuss. We have a plan. We go through it. We don't have to get up and down. We're well organized and have everything with us to complete. We're not wasting their time or your time. So also assuming, should never make assumptions, but if you assume that they understand all of this information that you're giving them, um, that's a big ask because it's going to be overload. So throughout the conversation, ask them some questions, of course, repeat things so that we can see that they're understanding, the small things they need to know. Uh, they're really important to them, like how do they punch in and out? Where do they park? How do they get a break? Do they get drinks? Do they get meals? What are the things that apply to them that are really important? So sometimes they're just little things that, um, if we get interrupted or something happens, we can forget. So use the checklist. That helps you get that organization, know that you've covered everything. Um, then ask how they feel. Do they need anything? Uh, What you can do? Can you answer any questions? Definitely make them have that comfort level. And that's number one throughout this. So who are we hiring? Are we consistent in calling candidates and screening them? Is your management team on the same page? So do you know what you want, what you're looking for? Do we always look professional and organized when we're contacting the candidates, whether it's a phone interview or it's an in-person interview? Things to think about so that we're doing the best job that we can do during that process. Remember, when I said we're getting interviewed as well, so we want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make that first impression. First impressions last, right? So there are resources that we have available. We have an applicant interviews sheet. We have a new team member checklist. We have an app called CoreEngage. And then I want to talk about like CDTs and overall training. First, let's look at the applicant interview guide. Delaney and I talked about this. So we have like a few different things out there. Now we've had one applicant interview guide for a while. It's on the portal, but we had a couple different tools. We didn't think that made sense. So Delaney took on this project and we simplified everything into one form. And I think that this is wonderful. I'm always excited to get new managers or managers to use this because it easily keeps your information in one spot and it gives you the information that you need to discuss or what you'll need to know. And you easily can put it on one sheet. So you can do your phone interview, your phone screen from here and mark it. And if you call them in for an interview, it explains questions. It has questions for experienced, maybe someone coming from another restaurant, and then maybe someone that has no experience. And know that these are just base questions when you don't maybe have a comfort level. You haven't been doing interviewing. So you're like, I don't really know what to ask and I'm nervous about it. Don't be nervous about it. Have a nice, relaxed conversation. These will help you get started. And as you talk, you want that candidate to do most of the talking. So then you're going to listen actively to them and you're going to then think about some other questions that you want to ask. You want to make sure that you're getting the information, allow them to expand on it so that you learn something about their likes, dislikes, things that they have done. What are they going to be able to do to help the team? So nice one-stop shop. If another manager has to come into this and they're going to do an interview or a second interview, this information is all together and they're able to take a look at that and they're well organized. They know the information. If a candidate calls back, they don't need to say, hey, wait, I can't find anything. I'll let Joe know and they'll call you back later. That's going to be the way that we lose candidates. So using something to keep you organized in this manner is a great system to use. If you don't know it, get on the portal, take a look at it, and start to use it. I know we are having a new Campbell U class, and we did do the interviewing segment, and it looked like a lot of our managers are aware of it and using it. So that's great. Kudos to you. So the new team member checklist is basically like an orientation checklist. And this is super to use because it is very detailed. And it gives you little check boxes that you can check everything off right there. And it's a way for you not to miss the details so that you give them the information that they need to know. And if you need to go back and review things, you kind of know what you hit upon and what you did. So this is a very good checklist for you to use also on the portal. This is the CoreEngage app. This is the app that I said I'm a real fan of this. I know Brenda talks about this in her benefit segment a lot, but if you have this, it's a one-stop shop, I like to say, because this is where you can go in. A lot of links are on this. You can go in and you can get to GreenShade, you can get to your pay stub, you can get to benefits and find out, it is what you have, what's covered. Training and development takes you right into the LMS. So there are so many options to this. Managers, I think this is great for you because you have to answer the questions. And if the employees want to get this, it's a great way for them to get all the information that they need. So like I said, one-stop shop, but very good information for everyone. So keep that in mind. If you don't have it, think about it. And then I talked a lot in the beginning about how are we going to engage these new employees. Developing them, looking for leadership strengths is one of the things we should be doing all the time with our crew members because we should be recognizing their strengths, challenging them to do new things. CDTs we definitely need. They are a part of moving forward with the training process. And I do have that through the LMS. All they have to do, you contact me with the name of the individual in the area that they're going to be a CDT in. I will set that up within the LMS. There's a training module, and then there's a testing module. So they complete this, and then they're a certified CDT. A lot of you have been taking advantage of it, and I appreciate it very much. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me, sneeze came. So keep using the CDT process. The more people that we can get trained, and I know it's still in the whole process of hiring and keeping and retaining employees, but they come and they go. Excuse me. So looking for strengths. These are the things we want to look for so we can talk to people constantly about what opportunities exist within our company. There are opportunities. We can look for the open close position. They can just take on maybe a different little meeting or something that you need taken care of in the store. That helps you see how they handle those things, how they handle situations, employees, things that come up. Um, Helps them grow and they feel challenged and they think that they make a difference in the company and they have the opportunities to move forward. Cross training to me is huge. I know that some some seem to not care for it as much, but this gives you the opportunity to actually see what people can do, what their passions are, and also allows you to give people hours and allows them to just kind of see different areas of the restaurant, maybe even back of the house, front of the house. I think sometimes we kind of segregate those, but we can mesh them together and see where everybody thrives. So we have to keep that in mind. So a lot of different things that we're talking about, but getting to the point where we get some people in, good people, not bodies, and that we look at the different ways that we can change our mindset and that we can help all of these people to be more engaged, to actually retain them in our company is where we need to go. So I want to thank you for your time today. If you need any help along the way and you have any questions, just know to give a call. I'm around all the time. Email me, give me a call, and we can get you what you need. So good luck, and I hope things open up for you. Have a great afternoon.
Question, Pam.
Yeah,
Let's see here. Applicant interview guide. It's in the portal. Where did you say that was?
yeah. Let me get back up here. I
Okay.
don't know the number off the top of my head,
Okay.
but
No,
it's
thank
there.
you, because I missed that. Manual
That's
state.
okay. That's what we want you to know where to get a hold of it so that you can use those forms.
I'm going to. It looks really nice.
Yep. Take a look at it. If you have questions, just let us know.
How new is that?
We probably had it out. Oh gosh, I don't know. Delaney, a year and a half.
Oh my. Sorry.
Year and a half, 2 years. We had some tools, but like I said, we kind of, went together. Delaney went kind of simplified everything together, and it's really great. It's nice.
Yeah, that's going to help, especially with the second interviews when you're passing one on to someone else. That's
Yes,
why I'm mostly interested in it.
information together is really good.
Yeah,
It helps you to have that organization and seem like you know what you're talking about. It's unfortunate
absolutely.
when things get passed around and that looks like disorganization, which it does. It's not really maybe what's going on, but it appears to be. So
Yeah, I'm going to share that with Paul and Ashley because I don't think they knew about it either. So
great.
we'll have a
That's
new
what we
tool
want.
here in Tuna.
I've also recorded this, so I'll get it onto the portal, or excuse me, onto the LMS, and I will let you all know that. We
Okay.
send an email out, so if anyone missed it and they want to, they can get on, or please share the information. That'd be great.
All right. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.
All right, you too.
Thanks again.
All right, bye everybody. Have a great day.